Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I was listening to Lakers Lounge. I wish I could remember his name right now. Got the wrong name in my head, so I'm definitely not going to say that. But the individual who does Lakers Lounge, watching on YouTube, all right? So he was essentially saying he thinks that the roster is worse than it was last year. And I just don't see that. If you want to say it's the same, I think that's a safer statement. But then to just believe that it's worse, I don't know that it's worse because we haven't lost any of the key stuff that made up who we were. The only thing that we lost that was key was Taurean Prince, and that's a good thing. We didn't utilize him correctly, and a lot of what was wrong was having him on the floor being asked to do too much. That was a lot. That went wrong there. And then, of course, you got Darvin Ham, who's now an assistant coach in Milwaukee, so he's not there to ruin things, which we can all agree he was bad at coaching this team last year. So I don't know where the worst comes in. Do you think that Dalton Knecht makes the team worse? I don't see how you think that. You think Bronny James makes the team worse? He's not even going to have a role this year. So I don't know that you're going to see that dynamic in either way. We didn't lose anything. If anything, we're getting people back. We're healthier. So I don't know why he's saying this. I really don't know why he's saying that. He thinks that because I guess the West has gotten better in his mind, and it still makes you worse. I think he mentioned something about comparing it to capitalism, saying that if you're not getting better, you're automatically getting worse. But that's not how basketball equates, man. Not at all. Especially when you have guys like Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves, who were in very prominent roles last year, who were underdeveloped for the roles they were in last year. Guys that didn't get a whole lot of minutes, like Rui Hachimura with the Washington Wizards, he didn't develop very much in Washington. He's developing now. Austin Reeves, he played a full 82 games last year. His development is continuing. So to say that we're worse is to neglect the young players who are on the team that are ultimately just naturally progressing as basketball players and pros. So, like, you got a guy like Max Lewis who's going to be able to now incorporate himself into some bench unit minutes. Max Christie, who may even be a starter for you this year, who didn't play at all last year. You got a healthier Gabe Vincent. You got a healthier Jared Vanderbilt. You got a healthier Christian Wood. I don't know where the bad comes in. I don't see it. I don't see the regression. We got rid of something we didn't want. Taurean Prince and Darvin Ham, the two things that we complain about the most, are gone. So I don't know where he's getting this from. I'm not gonna lie to you. I understand that people like to declare their opinions and or create narratives and or really do see things a certain way that maybe I just don't see it, even though they're looking at the same thing I'm looking at. And I think this might be that, because I do not think this team got worse. Now, did we get better? Maybe you don't want to say we got better, but I'm looking at the natural progression of those four players who are going to have roles, and I'm just saying, well, they didn't get worse. Is Rui Hachimura coming in worse this year than he did last year? After finally getting a full season of actual basketball play? Is Austin Reeves a worse player than he was last year? How? These guys are young and getting better. It's not like they're old and getting worse. Now you're going to argue that Bron James got worse? Anthony Davis getting worse? I don't know where this is coming. I don't get it, man. I'm trying with him, but I'm not getting that. So I just want to get on the internet and tell all you guys that I need to provide a different point of view on that one, because he's real adamant about telling everybody today that our team is worse. And I just don't know where that is coming from. I don't see the evidence of that. I don't see that. I don't even think the West got so much better that us standing still makes us worse. I don't see that either. I see two teams slipping into being good, two teams slipping out, or more, maybe more than two or three teams slipping out that are not expected to be any good. When I consider the Denver Nuggets are a little worse this year, in my mind, Dallas Mavericks are a little worse this year. In my mind, the Clippers got worse, the Golden State Warriors got worse. And then you got Sacramento, OKC improving, maybe the Houston Rockets stepping into their own, since they have that same dynamic that I just described, where young players just automatically getting better just off the strength of them being young last year and now going to not be as young this year. So the natural progressions of players from year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5, and all of these teams that have those type of players in prominent roles, in theory, they should be better just off of the strength of that alone. Literally, off the strength of that alone. So I don't get it, bro. I'm trying, but I don't see that. So that's what I wanted to say. I still got a lot more of his podcast to listen to. I listened to like the first 30 minutes, but I was still waiting for him to show me where he actually believes this. Like I'm not seeing the point driven home as of yet. So maybe that's just me not listening to the entire thing. But yeah, man, I don't think our team is worse, bro. I think our team is actually better, and just off the strength that we got somebody who's in place in Coach Reddick. It took me a second to remember. I've got all these names in my head. Coach Reddick, who I think is just going to put our team in a much better position to look better out there. They're going to run better plays. Now, does that equate to him calling good timeouts and all these different things, scheduling, workouts and things like that? I don't know how that's going to come together. And if he's worse than Darvin Ham, then we could potentially be worse. If we have more injury issues to start the season, Anthony Davis go down, Bron James go down, hell yeah, you worse. That's why we want these guys to get out of this Olympic thing healthy. These are the type of things that I think could make you worse. Maybe you can make the argument that we're worse defensively because now you're incorporating Dalton Connect into your situation, and he's not a very good defender. You couple that with not moving on from Austin, not moving on from D'Lo. Now you got them all three potentially be on the floor at the same time. Your defense is going to be bad. Maybe that's an argument for us being worse. But I don't think the addition of players who were hurt last year being healthy this year makes you worse. Jackson Hayes is coming back. He's a better player because he got a little more experience in this league. And see, that's the thing. I want to reiterate the point. Rui and Jackson, Max, they didn't get a lot of minutes in their last situations. Max Christie obviously didn't play last year. Rui Hachimura didn't play very much with the Wizards. Jackson Hayes didn't play very much with New Orleans. So it's like these guys haven't been developed properly. They haven't been given an opportunity. Jalen Hood-Schifino, obviously, he didn't get no development last year. Is he going to make us worse this year? Your 17th overall pick point guard, do you think he's going to be any worse than he was last year when you hardly saw him? I just don't know how I can look at a team that has basically a bunch of young players having come off a year where they got a little more experience, some of them, who were basically asked to do too much too soon. Austin, Rui, are expected to be worse now that they're coming back to the same unit they were on last year with a better coach. I don't know how that comes together to us being worse, man. I just don't see it. Am I frustrated with the Lakers not making any moves? No. I'm frustrated with the difficulty it is to make moves based on the CBA and based on some of the moves that we made in the past that ultimately gave us less to work with. That's what I'm frustrated with. If I'm going to be mad at Rob Pelinka, it ain't for nothing he did this summer. It's something that he probably did 3 summers ago that made it so that we only have 3 picks from which to trade. And now I got to be so frugal with picks. That's what pisses me off. You understand what I'm saying? The Russell Westbrook trade pisses me off. The Anthony Davis trade pisses me off. Those are the things that made it so that you couldn't move today. The move that we made with Alex Caruso. I don't like none of that. That's what's ultimately keeping us stranglehold from being able to even want to make moves. You know what I mean? On this channel. That's the stuff that ultimately is why you're not able to do anything. It's because you don't have enough to do enough. You come in to buy a car with only half the money. Good luck with that. You don't even have a full down payment. So how can I get mad at somebody for walking in to the dealership with half the money? Anybody could be in their stead. If you have half the money, you ain't walking out of there with anything. It could be Bob Myers. It could be Masai Ujiri. It don't matter who that is, bro. We don't have enough to responsibly do anything. Anything that we do is going to be irresponsibly done, no different than some of the moves that put us in this position in the first place. For those who are telling us to move, they need to understand that. That's the problem. Those who are frustrated with us making moves, ain't nothing you about to do going to be responsibly done. A lot of it is extremely short-sighted and gives you a puncher's chance to win this year and then the inability to move at all next season and the year after that and the year after that. So these same people judging by these standards are going to be even more angry next year because they ain't going to be able to move. You didn't make any moves in the summer of 25. You didn't make any move in the summer of 26. It's because of that stupid stuff that you were encouraging them to do in summer 24. And that these people don't care nothing about that is a problem for me. And that they don't see that angle is why I'm speaking so loud about it on this channel. Because there ain't enough talking heads on the in Laker Nation that have as much a concern about our future as they do about our present. And some may say, well, it's because you got a 40-year-old LeBron James. I don't know that LeBron James ain't gonna play till he's 50. And he gonna want us to be able to make moves every single one of them years leading up to that. You know, by the logic of worrying about LeBron James retiring, some of the stuff that we did yesterday was done. Gotta hurry up and do this, gotta hurry up and do that, gotta get rid of the kids. It's 6 years later, and he still ain't going nowhere. So all these win now moves that led up to this inability to move was done in that vein. Because a bunch of people was worried about him on his last leg needing an opportunity at a championship. And as a result, we ain't got nothing out. We still got to keep doing irresponsible stuff. And at some point, you got to stop that entirely so that you can have the ability to move going forward. And if he's a part of it, great. If he's not, even more so, you're happy that you made the sacrifice. It's not like we haven't won with LeBron James anyway. It's not like it's a complete failure. You already got 2020 up in the stands. So if he retires today, he went down as a Laker legend, winning the championship. So I don't need to act like I'm chasing rings. You know what I mean? For him, on his timeline, when the reality is nobody even knows what his timeline actually is, least of all him. Because he'd have told you 6 years ago to hurry up. And it's 6 years later. All you had to do was sit on all that young talent, and by the time this year came around, you would have had a super team around LeBron James. You would have. Look how good Josh Hart is, Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Alex Caruso, Brandon Ingram. All these players you gave away, you didn't have to give none of them away. You would have had a chance at multiple championships because your team would have been better than everybody else if you would have just kept everything you had. But no, y'all kept on thinking, oh, we got to move for LeBron, we got to move for LeBron. And LeBron just kept on playing, kept on playing, kept on playing. Here we are, year 7 of his tenure with the Lakers, and we didn't thought he was about to quit every single year. Thought we had the mortgage future every single year. Newsflash, people. It's the future you were considering in 2019. We're there. All the stuff you gave away is in his prime, winning with other teams. Throw-ins for Anthony Davis, balling their heads off like Josh Hart. What are we doing? Am I supposed to continue to be in this space as if I ain't learned these lessons every single summer for the last 6 years? I'm not stupid, man, and I'm not going to pretend to be stupid just because it fits people's narratives. No, we got to stop the bleeding on the dumb decisions that are made in the name of LeBron James retiring when, damn it, he ain't retiring. Like, literally. So if he does retire, cool, we won. And we have the ability to move upon his exodus. Because we didn't give away all our picks this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna keep on doing that. Let's make a mistake. I learn from that. And so that's where I'm at with that, man. I don't particularly think the Lakers should really be doing anything because it's not responsible to do the things that are being rumored to be done. You're gonna be giving away more picks, and it's gonna make it harder to move 2027, 2028, 2029. It's gonna be so much harder to move because of what you do right now. Let's just be unhappy about not being able to move now so we can build the equity necessary so that we can move then. So we can stop the bleeding on this nonsense. That's always been my argument for this summer. Let's just go through this now. While we still have LeBron James, still have Anthony Davis. They, without making a move, gets us much further in theory than us mortgaging everything for an opportunity that's not going to get them good enough and then strangleholding ourselves when they're no longer here, which is going to make us bottom all the way out as a franchise. Don't you feel a lot better about Anthony Davis and LeBron James having not made a move as it pertains to your franchise in the circumstances at hand than what it's going to look like when they go on and you can't move because of what you did right now? That's why I'm like, nah, man, my future matters. A lot of y'all player fans don't care what happens to us. And y'all going to make a loud noise about what you need to do for LeBron James. And just like I just said, you don't know when that guy going to retire. For all I know, he's still here 6 years from now asking us to make moves. What the hell? Y'all don't know when that man going to retire no more than he does. So stop acting like he's on his last leg just because it appears he does, because he looked like he was on his last leg when he was 34 before he even got here. And it's 6 years later and he's still running around playing the Olympics in the summertime. I'm not doing this with him. I'm not doing this with y'all either. At some point in time, we got to just admit, he's different. He's different, bro. I ain't got to treat him like he's 39 or 40 when he ain't retiring like somebody who's 39 or 40. No, we're not doing that. Because if we would have been thinking like this 6 summers ago, we would have been a champion this year. We would have been the best team in the damn league right now. And last year and the year before that too. And all that stupid stuff we was doing didn't need to be done. But this does. Stand still, hold on to the 3 picks for dear life. Ignore all these individuals telling you got worse because they want to see you make a move so they can bash your head in about it later. And enjoy the fruits of being able to know that your core should be able to overachieve regardless of who they got, because you got 2 of the best players ever played right now on your team. So it's not as imperative for you as a franchise to make moves today, which will stranglehold you tomorrow. It's more important that you hold off on those moves today so that when they're gone, you can make moves tomorrow. That makes a lot more sense to me for the long-term strategy of a franchise that must keep a star in place. You do not want to stranglehold yourself when the stars are gone. Like that is stupid, fam. For all the things that people say is stupid, there's nothing more stupid than going all in right now and then when it's time to rebuild, having nothing to provide yourself the possibility of that rebuild. And you open up the door for a guy like Anthony Davis to demand a trade, and you end up getting a third of what he's worth. LeBron retires or something. Like, nah, man, you got to guard against that type of stuff. You don't want no parts of that. Leave them picks out of these damn trades. Let this team be what it is. Let them 2 men drag what it is that we have, along with these guys who are getting better about a second. We're going to get to the first round, second round. We're going to exit because we know that's about as good as we're going to get. And then next year, we're going to feel a lot better about being able to make moves because we'll have more picks from which to use. Instead of these 3 little measly picks that everybody want to give away for role player X, it ain't going to get us no further into the playoffs either way. And the risk of these guys getting hurt is still the same. Bringing a Dorian Finney-Smith and have an injury year to Anthony Davis. Your butt ain't going nowhere. These are the things that Rob Pelinka's responsible for guarding against. You want to go all in and then they have a bad year. Guess what? It was all in for nothing and you're out of the stuff that's going to affect your future. Not me though. Too smart for that. BDL 44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.